Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome everyone. This is lecture 8 of our lectures in the Grammatical Rules and Systems course. In this lecture we will discuss adjectives and adjective phrases. So adjectives are words which we use to describe. So they are words that give us quality. They are used to describe people. Qualities that describe people, describe things, describe events, etc. and so on. So they can be divided into two groups, attributive and predicative. Okay, so the first type is attributive adjectives, which appear before the noun. Okay, so what is special about these adjectives is that they come before the noun as pre-modifiers. Okay, so in this sentence, this is an important lesson. Important is an adjective. Of course, lesson is a noun. Okay, and an important lesson is a noun phrase. It is a nominal group, if you remember. Important here comes before the noun, before the head lesson. Okay, so important is called an attributive adjective. The second type is called predicative adjectives. If you remember, we talked a bit about the subject and the predicate. We said simple sentences, one clause sentences, must have a subject and a predicate. So predicative adjectives appear in the predicate. They appear after the noun. Okay, so they appear after the noun in the predicate. In this example, this lesson is important. You notice we have the noun phrase this lesson. Okay, lesson is the noun, but the adjective important appeared after the noun and after the verb to be, is. Okay, so it appeared in the predicate. So the subject in this sentence, this lesson, and the predicate is important. This is the predicate, and the adjective appeared in the predicate, so we call it a predicative adjective. Many adjectives can be used both attributively and predicatively. So it's not necessary to be either this or that. Some adjectives can appear both. So in the case of important, in the previous two examples, we saw that important can appear as an attributive adjective and it can appear as a predicative adjective. Okay, but there are also some adjectives that can only appear or can only be used attributively. So they can only be used before the noun. Okay, they can't appear after the noun in the predicate. Some of the examples of these adjectives are main, principal, and chief. Okay, so these adjectives can only appear before the noun. So we say the main reason is this and that. Okay, or this is the main reason. We can't say the reason is main, and then we end the sentence, because these only appear attributively. So it is not possible to make these appear after the noun in the predicate, like important in the previous example. So those only appear attributively. There are also other adjectives that can only be used predicatively. So they can only be used as predicative adjective. Adjectives like afraid, asleep, these are called predicative adjectives. They only appear as predicative adjectives. So we say the man is afraid, my brother is asleep, but we can't say asleep the man is here, for example. Okay, or the asleep man is here. We can say the important man is here, but we can't say the asleep or the afraid man is here. So these adjectives can only appear in the predicate after the noun. And as you notice, some of these adjectives have a before them, like afraid, asleep. So this is something that can help you remember these adjectives. Adjectives used only predicatively, those that can only appear in the predicate after the noun, tend to refer to a temporary condition. So you know the difference between temporary and permanent. So temporary is only for a short time, permanent is lasting. Okay, it lasts. So adjectives that are used predicatively most of the time refer to something temporary. So if we look at these adjectives that are related to health, in these examples, the old man is well today. Well is a predicative adjective, and it refers to a temporary condition. So the old man might have failing health. Okay, sometimes he might be sick, sometimes he might be healthy. So when we say the old man is well today, that means this is temporary. So tomorrow he might get sick because he is of old age and he is a frail man, and he can get sick the next day. Example 1, well is a predicative adjective that shows a temporary condition. Now compare example 1 to the following example, where we use healthy to refer to a permanent characteristic. So he is a very healthy old man. This is a permanent characteristic. So this old man is healthy. He rarely gets sick, so he is a healthy man. So we can use this as a predicative or an attributive adjective. So he is a very healthy old man, or we can say the old man is healthy. So this adjective can be used as a predicative adjective, it can be used as an attributive adjective, and it refers to a permanent characteristic. An old man who is mostly healthy, he rarely gets sick. Okay? In a few cases, the meaning of the adjective will change according to its position. So if it appears before the noun, it will have a different meaning than if it appears in the predicate after the noun. For example, Ahmed was late. Late in this example means that he did not come on time. So a person who is late, he did not come on time. This is a predicative adjective in this case. Late can also appear as an attributive adjective. As in this example, the late Ahmed Al-Ali lived here. So Ahmed is the noun. The late Ahmed Al-Ali, of course, is a nominal group. It is an MP. Late is an attributive adjective. It came before the noun. And here it means that Ahmed Al-Ali, who is now dead. Okay, so the late Ahmed Al-Ali, a person who is now dead. Okay, so the meaning changed when we moved late to use it attributively. Of course, we can use late attributively to mean the same meaning as Ahmed was late. Okay, so the late man finally arrived. It can be used in the same meaning as the first example. But if we want to say someone who is dead, we can only use it attributively before the noun. Alright, so the meaning changes according to position. If you want to say someone did not come on time, we can either use it predicatively or attributively. But if we want to say someone who is dead, we only use it attributively. Now let's look at this exercise. Decide whether the underlined adjective can be used only attributively, only predicatively, or both. So if it can only be used attributively, you choose A. If it can only be used predicatively, you choose B. If it is possible to use it both in the attributive and predicative position, we choose C. So number 1, he is a smart student. Smart, can we say the student is smart? Yes. So smart can be used both attributively and predicatively, so we can choose C, both. So smart, the correct choice here is C. Number 2, the child is asleep. The child is asleep. You remember, asleep is one of the special adjectives that can only appear in the predicate. Okay, so we can't say the asleep child is awake now. The asleep child is resting. So asleep can only be used in the predicate, so the correct choice is B. 3, one of the main causes of lung cancer is smoking. Main comes before the noun here, so main causes is the noun, and main comes before it. So here it is in the attributive position. Can we change it to make it in the predicative position? Can we say the cause is main of lung cancer? No, we can't. So main can only be used in the attributive position, so the correct choice is A. Number 4, are you afraid of the dark? Be careful with this sentence. This is a question. So you might see afraid here and say, okay, it might be before the noun or after the noun, because it is a question. It might come after the noun. So change it into a statement and see the right position. So are you afraid of the dark? We can change it to mean you are afraid of the dark. So you are afraid, you notice it comes in the predicate after are, after the verb. So this is a predicative adjective. Can we make it an attributive adjective? No, it is similar to sleep in number 2. So afraid, and asleep, as we said, they can only be predicative. So the correct choice for number 4 is B. This runner is fast. We can say he is a fast runner, okay, or the fast runner is here. So fast can either be used attributively or predicatively, so the answer is C, both. Now we will look at adjective phrases, as we looked previously at prepositional noun phrases and other phrases like verb phrases. So we will discuss adjective phrases briefly here. So first, adjective phrases are composed of an adjective which functions as the head. So in adjective phrases, the adjective is the head of the phrase. They also contain a modifier, and this modifier is mostly an adverb. So mostly you'll see an adverb as a modifier. It comes before the head, before the adjective, and then you have a complement. So we can have only the adjective in the adjective phrase, like in the first example in this table, good. It is the only adjective or the only word in this phrase. It is the head, and we call it an adjective phrase even though it is one word. We said phrases refer to groups of words or a group of words, but we can use it as a way to simplify things. Instead of having two classifications, we just say adjective phrases to include adjectives and other adjectives or adjective phrases that contain more than one word. Okay, so good, we can use it, we can call it an adjective phrase to make things a bit simpler when we describe grammatical constituents and elements. Look at the second example. Good at mathematics. At mathematics is a prepositional phrase, and you remember it comes in this case as the complement of the adjective good, which is the head in this adjective phrase. Very good, here we have a modifier. It is an adverb. So very and good, good is the head, very good is an adjective phrase. Then we can have all three elements: very, which is the modifier, pre-modifier before the head, and then good, which is the adjective, and then at mathematics, a prepositional phrase that functions as a complement. So very good at mathematics, all this is an adjective phrase. Now we will talk about another point here, which is about gradable adjectives. So gradable adjectives are adjectives that express a condition or quality of which there are degrees. So we imagine these adjectives as having degrees. So 10%, 20%, 50%, 70%, and so on. So they can be gradable. They can be graded according to certain degrees. So if we look at the example good, this is an adjective and it is gradable. So there are degrees of goodness. So we can give an adjective a high degree. We say this is very good. Okay, this is very good. Here we added the modifier very to give us a higher degree of goodness. So if we compare good with very good is higher. Okay, so this is a higher degree than good. Number 2, excessive degree. Excessive means something you didn't expect, you didn't anticipate, more than you thought would be the case. So when you say too good, this is too good to be true. Too good to be true. You can't believe how good this thing is because it is more than you expected, more than you anticipated. You didn't expect something to be this good. Okay, so too good, too good. When you say the exam is difficult, okay, we can say the exam is very difficult to make it a higher degree. So very difficult, it is higher than usual difficulty. And when you say it is too difficult, it means it is impossible for you to solve. Okay, it is impossible for someone to solve or do and get a good grade in. So too difficult, this means excessive, so an excessive degree. Then we have sufficient and insufficient. That means enough or not enough of something, of a certain quality. So in our example, good, there is good enough, which is enough of the quality to satisfy you, or not good enough, not enough of the quality to satisfy a certain measure or a certain standard. So good enough or not good enough. Then we have comparative and superlative, and you might have studied these before in previous courses. So we have the comparative form of adjectives to compare two things. So in the case of good, we say better, this is the comparative form, or in the case of smart, we say smarter, or in the case of beautiful, we say more beautiful. In the superlative, in the case of good, we say best. In the case of smart, we say smartest, and in the case of beautiful, we say most beautiful. You will notice that certain adjectives might have a separate form in the comparative and superlative. So in the case of good, there is a different form for the comparative, which is better, and a different form for the superlative, which is best. Most adjectives will take ER, so smarter, smart here can take ER in the comparative, or EST in the superlative, so we say smartest. Yet another group of adjectives will only take more or most. So more beautiful and most beautiful, we can't say beautifuler, okay, it is even hard to pronounce, or beautifulest, okay, so this is not possible. We only say more beautiful or most beautiful. Some adjectives like complete are not gradable. So we said there are gradable adjectives, they have degrees. Adjectives like complete, they are not gradable, because when something is complete, it is done. This is it is complete. Or when something, for example, is perfect. Perfect is an adjective, so it is there is no grade in perfect. Okay, so it is perfect, that's it. So we can't grade perfect, we can't grade complete. If something is complete, it is complete, and that's it. So they are not normally, okay, there are of course exceptions to everything, so normally they are not compared, so we don't say more and most, complete, and things like that, and we don't modify them by very, to, or enough. We have another point here, which is related to adjectives referring to shape or size. So adjectives related to shape, like round and tall, these describe shape, or size, big, small, narrow, wide, these describe the size of a certain thing. These can only modify count nouns. You remember we studied count nouns, and we said there's a difference between count nouns and mass nouns. These adjectives that refer to shape or size can only modify count nouns. So they cannot modify mass nouns. Look at the example. This is a big building. Big refers to size. Building is a count noun. We can say one building, we can say two buildings. So big is possible to come with building, but it is incorrect to say this is big water. If we are referring to a mass of water, a big mass of water, you can't say this is big water, okay, because water is a mass noun. You can't use the adjective big with mass nouns because it refers to size, and other adjectives that refer to shape are the same as well. Now we will talk about the function of adjective phrases. So the first function, if you remember, that we talked a bit about the function of prepositional phrases and noun phrases, and this is helpful of course for you to understand those first and then come and look at this. So you know the meaning of complement, we mentioned it a few times now. So complement is something that completes the meaning of a sentence. It is necessary to the complete meaning of the sentence. We can't remove it. So the first function of the adjective phrase is the complement of the subject plus the verb to be. Of course you know the verb to be by now, is, am, are, was, and were. And here it is in the position, or it functions as the main verb of the sentence. So Ahmed is very intelligent. Is, this is the verb to be, the form of the verb to be, third person singular form in the present, and it is the only verb, it is the main verb in this sentence. And we have the subject Ahmed, so subject plus be. Then we have the adjective phrase very intelligent. In this case we can't remove very intelligent, it is necessary for the completeness of the meaning. We can't say Ahmed is and finish the sentence. We must say Ahmed is very intelligent. Okay. Number 2, complement of direct object. So the complement is necessary for the complete meaning of the direct object, as in the example, he found Ahmed. Here it means he believes, he thinks that Ahmed is very intelligent. So he found Ahmed very intelligent. We can't say he found Ahmed because this will change the meaning. That means Ahmed was lost and someone found Ahmed. This is not the meaning we want in this sentence. So if you want to say that someone thinks of Ahmed as very intelligent, someone believes that Ahmed is very intelligent, we need a complement to this to have or convey this meaning. So he found Ahmed very intelligent. This is a complement. Very intelligent is a complement. It is an adjective phrase. We can restate this sentence as he found Ahmed to be very intelligent. Alright, so in this case this is the complement of the direct object. Then adjectives can be pre-modifiers in a noun phrase. So for example, my very good friend is coming to visit me. Here in this example we have very good, which is an adjective phrase, and my very good friend, this is a noun phrase. So the adjective phrase is within, or it is embedded within the noun phrase. Okay, so my very good friend, very good modifies the noun friend, so it is a pre-modifier. It comes before the noun friend and modifies it, and it is in the noun phrase. So my very good friend, very good is a pre-modifier. If you want to differentiate between pre-modifiers and complements, we can take away all the phrase including the adjective in the case of pre-modifiers and replace it with another pronoun. So my very good friend, we can take all this away and say he. Okay, so my very good friend, we can say he is coming. My very good friend is coming, we say he is coming. You notice very good went away with the whole noun phrase, so it is part of the noun phrase, and it is part of the noun phrase, that means it is a modifier. Okay, it is a modifier of the noun, it modifies the head friend. So this is how you differentiate between modifiers and complements, in case you find this difficult. Then we have this next function which is the post modifier. So it can function as a pre-modifier or a post modifier in a noun phrase. For example, we must find the person responsible for the robbery. The person responsible for the robbery, all this is the noun phrase. Responsible is an adjective and it came after the head. So the head is person. The sentence says we must find the person. So we added more modifiers to this head. We say the person responsible. So he is responsible for something. And in this case, as we said, we can take away all of this and replace it with a pronoun. So we can say we must find him. Instead of the person responsible for the robbery, we can say we must find him. And responsible was taken away with the noun phrase. That means it is part of the noun phrase. It modifies the head person. Okay. Number 5, head of a nominal group. This is a special case. We studied nominal groups before and noun phrases, and we said usually the head in a nominal group is a noun. So nominal groups will have the noun as a head normally, but there are special cases where an adjective can be the head of the nominal group, and we will tell you each case here. So the first case, that it can appear as the head with a number of adjectives that refer to a class of people. So a class of people that have a certain characteristic. In this case, it can appear as the head of a nominal group. We'll see some examples. First, the adjectives that refer to a class of people include blind. So when we say the blind, we are referring to the people who share the characteristic of blindness. Okay. Homeless, the people who share the characteristics or the characteristic of being homeless. Poor, the people, the class of people that share the characteristic of being poor, and so on. So the blind, the homeless, the poor, we can use those as the head of a nominal group. In the following examples, you will notice how we use them here. So we gave money to the poor. The poor is a noun phrase. It is a nominal group, and the head is an adjective, poor. So poor here means the class of people who are poor. The wealthy. The wealthy, you notice, is the subject in the sentence. It is a noun phrase. As we said, the subject is a noun phrase. And wealthy is an adjective. It is the head of the noun phrase. There is no noun here. We only have a determiner, the, and wealthy, which is an adjective. The wealthy is a noun phrase in this case. So the wealthy must help poor people in our society. Wealthy means the class of people who are wealthy. Then we have another example. The young are our hope for the future. The young means the class of people who are young. Here this is a noun phrase. It is a nominal group. It has the adjective young. Young is the head of this nominal group in this special case. The second special case is adjectives that refer to abstract ideas. So abstract means something we can't see or touch. Okay, ideas, things that we don't see, we can't touch, we can't observe with our senses. So we call these abstract. They are only in our mind. For example, unexpected. We can't touch unexpected. We can't see the unexpected. Okay, it is an abstract idea in our mind. Unknown. We don't see the unknown. We just have an idea about the meaning of this adjective. So unknown or unexpected. Those can appear as the head of a nominal group in a noun phrase. So, for example, the unexpected happened. The unexpected is the subject. Here it is in the noun phrase, the unexpected. It is the head, and it is preceded by a determiner, the. So, this is an abstract idea used as the head of a nominal group, and it is an adjective. Also, the unknown is frightening. Unknown is the same as well. It is the head of the noun phrase of the pronominal group, of the nominal group, the unknown. Okay. Then we have the next case, adjectives that refer. Correct these adjectives. Okay. Adjectives that refer to the people of a country. Adjectives that refer to the people of a country. So when we say the English refers to the people of England. Okay, so this is a subject. It is a nominal group, and the adjective is the head of the nominal group. The English refers to the people of England, or the population of England. The French are very interested in fashion. The French refers to the people of France. Let's look at this exercise. Identify the function of each of the underlined adjective phrase below. So it is either a complement, a modifier in a noun phrase, or the head of a noun phrase. Number one, the driver responsible for the accident paid the fine. The driver responsible for the accident paid the fine. Where is the subject in this sentence? It is all these words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. The driver responsible for the accident. So 6 words here. So the driver responsible for the accident. This is all one noun phrase, and the adjective is part of the noun phrase. Okay, so driver responsible is a modifier. It is a post modifier. It comes after the head, driver. So the answer for number 1 is B. Number 2, the driver was careless. The driver was careless. We have the subject and we have the verb to be, and then we have careless. We can't say the driver was and end the sentence, so careless is necessary for the completion of the meaning. Careless is a complement. Number 2 is a complement. The correct choice is A for number 2. Number 3, he is a careless driver. He is a careless driver. A careless driver, we can take it away and we can put a pronoun instead of it. We can say he is this or he is that. Okay? So a careless driver is part or all part of one noun phrase. So careless is part of the noun phrase, a careless driver, and it modifies driver. It gives more information about driver, someone who is careless. So driver is modified by careless. It is the head, of course, driver here, and careless is a pre-modifier. So 3, the correct choice is B, modifier. In number 4, the police found the driver guilty. The police found the driver guilty. Okay, so here we need guilty to complete the meaning. It is a complement of the object driver. So the police subject, then we have the verb found, and then the driver object, but we can't say the police found the driver. It means that if we say the police found the driver, this will change the meaning. It will mean that the driver was lost and the police were looking for him until they found him. But in this case, the police found the driver guilty. That means they proved that he is guilty. Okay? They found and they think that the driver is guilty of causing an accident, for example. So the police found the driver guilty. Guilty is necessary for the completion of the meaning, so it is a complement. In number 4, guilty is a complement. The correct choice is A. The elderly must be respected. The elderly must be respected. So here the elderly is the subject, and we have elderly, which is an adjective, and it is one of the special cases that we mentioned, an adjective that can function as the head of a nominal group, and elderly refers to the class of people who are old. So the elderly here is the head of the noun phrase. Elderly is the head of the noun phrase, so the correct choice for number 5 is C. Okay, so this is the end of this lecture. Inshallah, I will see you in the next lecture. We will continue our discussion of phrases. We will discuss adverb phrases in the next lecture, and we will talk a little bit about these phrases as we did with adjective phrases today. So thank you for listening. I will see you next time.